What's going on with Bayley? Is she a goodie, like a hugger version? Is she a baddie, like a role model version? Join us to find out, because I'm Oli Davis, I'm joined by Luke Owen DAD, and this is the Raw Review WrestleTalk podcast. We're here every Tuesday and Friday, and again Monday, because we will be reviewing Clash in Paris next week. If you haven't already, please press the thumbs up button and subscribe on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and again, very exciting news. We've got a new distribution platform. We've been ramping them up over the last couple of months since we relaunched the podcast. So thank you so much to all of our partners. It's page 38.
Okay.
Page 38 of my new book, Here Rational, now also includes there it is. Now includes the podcast also.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to order the book.
And here's me thinking you were actually going to, you'd prepped an excerpt of the book you were going to read as sort of like a bit of a palette, whether an amuse-bouche, a way to sort of tease people into it.
Good idea. Okay. I know there's a good bit around here. It's a car park, you bitch, not a coffee shop. People need spaces. That's the problem with this country. People are taking up English people's spaces. Orgy's eyes filled with tears. These were not tears of emotion, though. It was important for her to note that. This man had not affected her. Confusing parking etiquette with immigration policy had not affected her.
Very good.
Take that, right wing. There's also a lot of left-wing critique in there as well. And yes, please buy my book. A lot of people keep saying they really love me and the show, and do you really love me? If you haven't bought the book,
it's time to prove it. It's time to prove how much you love Oli Davis.
You, who has only ever watched this show on an ad-supported version, buy my book. Sorry for the long. That's 2 minutes in, but that's going to be the way for the next few weeks. It's out next Tuesday. I will be shilling it a lot.
There was a comment on left on Spotify that obviously you're not going to hear because you're not on this Thursday or this Friday's episode, because it'll be myself and Professor Dan Layton. But there was a comment that was left on Spotify that really made me laugh. There was like, this guy's funny. He should write a book.
Well, you're in luck, because yes, that's gone on with the show. Of course, also send in your comments to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one, over $5 before the end of the show. But we are starting with look, okay, let's be honest. Nothing new has happened on Raw for about 3 weeks now.
No.
Asuka is still annoyed with IYO because she is helping Rhea Ripley.
Yes, that story did not progress this week.
Dominic Mysterio will be spotted talking to El Grande Americano backstage.
That story has not progressed.
Finn Balor is going to be a little bit unsure about that.
Yep, that story has also not progressed.
And Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker.
Whoa. CM Punk brawled with Seth Rollins on this show.
Yep, not seen that before. But the Bayley vignettes, which have been going on for a couple of weeks, I think they have actually been incrementally dispensing information. New information.
Genuinely, exactly. That is what they are doing. Each new vignette does progress this character ever so slightly. It's why it's the most exciting thing on the show. I couldn't work out why it's the most exciting thing on the show. That is what it is.
That's the benchmark, folks. We're really clinging on to just something that has moved on narratively from 1 week to the next.
This is sensational.
And I've got to be honest, when they ran down the Clash in Paris card, I was like, is that it? 4 singles matches and a 4-way?
Yeah.
If I'm booking that on Monday Night War, I'm getting a crappy passive-aggressive email from Triple H.
Yeah, I actually wrote in my notes, this feels like when you're in sort of week 15 of the Monday Night War and a lot of your talents are really tired, like, I really want to blow off some of these feuds, but I actually don't have the resources to be able to book them. And someone's just played a power card on me, which means I can't end off any of the rivalries that I've been growing. So this is the best I can put on at this point.
And the power card is their own business deal with ESPN. So they're just saving all the good stuff for ESPN next month.
Yeah.
Why our valued partner Peacock Why go out on a bang?
No.
Because they don't care.
Sorry,
ultimately.
Stephanie Baker. You're being saved for WrestlePalooza.
But let's talk about Bayley, because it is definitely the most interesting thing on the show. She started...
Sorry, Mother said, I thought I was missing something when I was doing the Wrestle League today, but nope, that's all of it. That's all of it.
And don't worry, it's not like AEW where they had 4 matches on the day. That's it. You got your 5, folks.
That's all 5 of them.
We need the... Can we have a new bit on Wrestle League, which is name all the sponsors. Name all the ad breaks that you'll get. Yeah. WWE merch. Tickets. Minute Maid. Prime. But yeah, Bayley started off with that sort of unreal shot. This was 3 weeks ago, I think, after SummerSlam. And it's kind of a confessional tone to the camera. I have been losing, and it's all my fault.
I'm a failure. And I've for the first time in my career, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say.
And she has been on this sort of losing streak. The whole Lyra Becky thing did not work out for her. She's at a loose end, really, as a character, and arguably as a real-life performer. She wasn't at WrestleMania. She wasn't on SummerSlam. So that was the first installment. Second week, last week, lent more into the Hugger stuff.
Yes, and we thought, they're going to do like a heel version of the Hugger character. This idea that she used to be successful way, way back in the day. They've just celebrated 10 years since that Brooklyn match when she won the NXT title from Sasha Banks. So like it's, that's what we're going to get, this heel version of the character. The Joker sting, as we've sort of been joking about on this show for the past 7 years, I think. But this week, it turns out it's more of a split personality thing. She's got an angel and a demon on her shoulder. She has got the Hugger on her shoulder that's like, hey, when we were just ourselves, we were really successful. You went on WrestleMania this year, but when you were authentically yourself, you not only did go to WrestleMania, you retained the title at WrestleMania. But then she's got that little devil on her shoulder, which is the role model. Ding dong, hello. This is who we are. This is your authentic self. And you were successful when you were that self.
Yeah, do you think they're competing then? Because that is what happened. That was the progression this week. We got the role model also having an argument within Bayley's head. But I feel like the Hugger still came off as quite heelish. Like almost a petulant child shouting at the role model, I was here first, which is a great line because, she was the first character. So Bayley doesn't seem happy with either of them.
No. I think this is what we're going to end up with is Bayley's trying to find, it's the next evolution of her character. She is not going to be the Hugger. She's not going to be the role model. She's going to be the next evolution of Bayley.
A totally new character? Because it's difficult because each week I feel like I get into eventually that week's version. So the first week it was like, I'm up for just serious, credible Bayley.
Yeah, I loved it.
Last week I was like, I could do heel Hugger Bayley. And now it's like, that she's got these two conflicting sides. She could reconcile them both. She could end up in the ring and pretend she's hearing voices, which is probably a bit goofy.
Yes,
but we haven't had a goofy thing in a while, have we?
So we actually
kind of want a bit of chaos.
Well, this is what we said on last week's show, was we didn't love last week's promo because it did lean... We loved the super serious, unreal style of sort of promotion that they did for it. But then last week's was a bit more, bit warrior in the mirror, sort of she hears voices, they counsel her, they understand. This week, it was fully that. She had 2 different sides of her personality having an argument with one another. And like when the Hugger shows up, she's like, is it you, is it? You're also here. Like these different parts of her psyche. There's every chance we are taking a big left turn into Wacky Town. And there's a part of me that's a little bit on board. I'll buy a ticket to Wacky Town and see what you've got on board for us. But I did have eyes on another destination, which was, Seriousville, which was where we were in week 1.
If this was 6 years ago, we are getting little crossfade circle inserts of these Bayley characters around her face. No, Bayley, you don't do that.
We weren't that far off, that she did have silhouettes of her personas behind her, and the camera did go into various different color palettes depending on who was having the argument with her. So you could actually see Hugger Bayley with the high pony behind Bayley as she was arguing with her.
Do you think because who knows what character we're going to end up with. Hopefully it's a good one. Do you think she is the challenger for Stephanie Vaquer at WrestlePalooza?
I don't know, only because when you cut back from this, Lyra Valkyria again is going out to Adam Pearce being like, has anyone checked on Bayley? Have you? And Adam Pearce are like, look, we've tried to. No one's been able to get in touch with her.
Apart from the camera and production crew.
Obviously.
It's wrestling. I'm being snarky. I'm being snarky.
Team, yeah. But if you compare that to what he said to Stephanie Vaquer, he's got a challenger in mind. He just needs to cross the T's and dot the lowercase J's. And did he announce he was going to set up a tournament for it, or just? Oh
no! So this is elsewhere in the show. They had a nice recap package of Naomi announcing her pregnancy. Cuts backstage, and Stephanie Vaquer's like, "I wish I was in Paris, but I'm not going to be." And Adam Pearce says, "Oh, I've got a great replacement. I'll announce it next week."
Okay, right. So that's where it's going to.
But I just need to, confirm everything.
Which means then I don't know if it is going to be Bayley, because you wouldn't have had the segment with Lyra later on where he's like, I don't know what's going on with Bayley.
Yeah, if Bayley comes back and goes into a feud with Lyra, that makes the most sense.
Well, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess I'll be into it.
Do you know what? Of all the things that were on this episode of Monday Night Raw, and there were a lot of them, this is the thing I am most into.
I do have to put over, as repetitive as Raw has been since Mania, really. The women's division feels the most merit-based, fully fleshed out it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because you've got the Bayley stuff, which will likely be a feud with Lyra. You've got Stephanie Vaquer going for the world title. You've got Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. And you've got the whole four-way thing of Kabuki Warriors, Rhea and Asuka.
Yeah.
Those are...
And the Judgment Day.
And the Judgment Day stuff. So that's 4 really fleshed out, character-based or title-based storylines.
It's a remarkable 180 from where we were this time last year, or even the start of this year. It's a really, really good turnaround. I think SmackDown could learn a lot from the work that they're doing up on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I think that the women's division is arguably so much more interesting than the men's division currently is.
So what Raw lacks in tag, it gains in women's. Let's have a look at what you all say in the Omega. Gables.
Look at this. AEW give him one press ticket, and all of a sudden, it's all he can talk about.
I'm dazzled by the seats. There are no chats about Bayley.
Oh, that's a shame. I think that was a risk. I don't want to say it was a risk on our part. You said what we're going to do for the podcast, and I was like, Bayley.
I had nothing better.
I can't talk about Roman and/or Seth again. So yeah, let's do that.
Christopher Hines writes, the crowd definitely carried Raw last night. With the card for Clash in Paris looking pretty average, feels like WWE are expecting the French crowd to carry that show too.
Well, if Backlash from last year, is any evidence to go by, then yeah, it probably will do.
Sam Richards is number 1, says, hi guys. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you for all the amazing content you've created over the last 5 years. After discovering your content through Stephen Larson's guest appearance on Quizzlemania, I've never looked back. Secondly, I was there. My first ever show. Tickets graciously gifted by my partner Jasmine, family and friends for my birthday. It was incredible. Reactions to OTC, Punk and Jay were awesome and loved the Bayley promo. Can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, that crowd were having a lot of fun on this show.
Lewis Da Silva. While I did have a great time at Raw Live in Brum, I did feel a little bummed I didn't get my money's worth because of those extortionate ticket prices and repetitive booking. My AEW New Japan ticket hotel combined was cheaper, making better memories.
I mean, the ticket being cheap is one thing, but your hotel and ticket being cheaper than just the ticket for Raw that's a hell of a...
And it's a pay-per-view compared to a TV, and the TV was more expensive. That's where WWE's at right now.
Yep.
People keep buying them, they'll keep charging those prices. Some guy writes, some guy math. Jay looking strong on a go-home show, plus Roman linked with Jay and kept relevant in a story currently not involving him. Yeah, Jay is taking pin on Saturday.
Maybe he is. I mean, LA Knight's also right there.
Kazoo, took a pin on the Go Home show.
Yeah.
Why not make it the full show? Kazoo writes, I thought Raw was fine last night, and hey, Dragon Lee finally got a win for once, and another Roxanne Rhea banger. Best part of the show is the EO soap opera drama, and it's funny how it took her losing the title to be featured in a story. That's crazy, isn't
A
it?
good point, well made, Kazoo.
I don't. It's not that I don't care about the EO soap opera drama. It's not interesting.
No,
because it's been the same thing for weeks.
But it will get interesting eventually.
Yes,
because it's going to lead to some really good matches.
As soon as it's full on Io and Rhea versus Asuka and Kairi, or some variation of, I'm going to be very excited. And finally, for now, the Rick Peck writes. Hottest UK WWE crowd I've been present for. It wasn't the best wrestling we saw this weekend, but was great fun. Also, as always, love to chat with you both on Sunday.
It was very nice to see you and your partner on the weekend. Thanks, Rick. The Rick Pet.
Let's get into the full play-by-play of the show, which opened, of course, in Birmingham, United Kingdom, with a Roman Reigns promo.
Yeah, he came out and he said, hey, feels like old times, but it's not really old times, is it? Because Seth Rollins predicted this was going to happen. Few boos for Cody Rhodes when his name was mentioned. And he said Seth also predicted it as well. And the crowd booed him. It started an F Seth Rollins chant. He's like, I don't have a bloodline with me, but you know what? I'm proud of Jay. He won at SummerSlam, so he should be going for the world title at Clash in Paris. But don't worry, I'm going to be coming for it eventually at some point soon. And then, what else did he do? Then Paul Heyman came out and he said, I was like, we've just passed the 5-year anniversary of when I was revealed as the wise man. I stopped being Brock's advocate and I became the wise man for the bloodline and Roman Reigns. And look at everything that we built together. And I miss you, Roman. But I'm not man enough to beat that love into you. But Bronson Reed is, and Bronson Reed's there with the trainers and whatnot, and he says that he's going to beat you up. My tribe, I'm not from the Isle of Samoa, because my tribe was exiled to Australia, and I am the Samoan that your parents and your grandparents always warned you about. And Roman had this great line there, and he's like, oh, you're Samoan. Oh, that means you belong to me then.
It was a really fun line. I thought Bronson did a good job here. Paul Heyman did a good job. Again, the whole segment went way too long for me.
By the time it was all done, half an hour
Yeah.
of the show had been taken up.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
Can we start on a match? Can we please, next week, can we start on a match just to make it a bit different?
I haven't got to use this comparison for a little while because, you know, this is all back in the day. We used to open these long 20-minute segments and stuff. But I used to say on this podcast, an episode of Friends is 22 minutes long. Look how much is accomplished within those 22 minutes. If you have got half an hour of TV time and what you've accomplished is 2 people have said, I'll see you on Sunday, that is not an effective use of half an hour of TV time.
Yeah. With some good lines. There were definitely some good lines in there, but it was way too long.
Not half an hour's worth of good lines.
Roman runs up the ramp to meet him, and they brawl for a bit. Loads of officials tried to pull them apart, and then they went to ad break, and it was all resolved.
Plus, as well, it's a security running down. That security gets beaten up, which means it's in the UK. It's your favourite game of which indie wrestler can you spot?
Oh, I didn't spot any, did you?
Tate Mayfair's was one of them.
Oh,
yeah,
good for him.
James Ellis, Brendan White.
Yes, this was a go home angle, and I don't think it was enough. They start the brawling. I'm like, well, let's keep it going. Come back after the break. We can't control these two. Oh my God, what's gonna happen on Sunday? None of that.
No, well, I thought it was a decent enough brawl.
It was. I see that brawl every week, like twice.
Yeah, but you know, it's all right, isn't it?
This is an angle to sell a pay-per-view.
I saw Tate Mayfair, so you know, which is amazing as well. You got a shot at Riot Cabaret on Friday. Also, someone in the comments here just has congratulated you for not attempting to do a Brummie accent when you said Birmingham. So
Birmingham. Congratulations revoked. Finn Balor and JD McDonagh then walked into the backstage area and saw Dom talking to El Grande Americano. And despite doing this for the last 3 weeks, Finn is still confused.
Yeah, he's like,
Dom, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm making sure I've got backup for AAA. I've told you this every week, every time you ask me. And then Finn's there like,
what does this all mean?
Move on! Feel like you last year when you were like, nothing happens with the Judgment Day.
Last year, the last 2 years I've been doing
but
this.
It's just the whole show. Then we went into Dragon Lee versus JD McDonagh. Quite an interesting match because they always take the losses in their tag matches.
Yeah, but when I was looking at this, I was like, well, one of them is one half of the tag team champions, and he's JD McDonagh. He's taking the pin here.
I thought this was actually, for what we saw, really good work in the ring.
Very much so.
It was nice to see Dragon Lee and JD actually get some singles action, but it was mostly about the shenanigans on the outside. Finn tries to interfere early, but the referee stops him, ejects him, and then Dom tries to interfere instead later on, but AJ Styles, hater of the year or whatever, has flown to the UK and cut him off. And this let Lee get the win.
Yeah. And then we backstage. You'll never guess what the Judgment Day did. They had an argument. Oh, they sure did. And Dom suggested that Finn take care of AJ tonight. And when they were like, whoa, I'm going to get Finn Balor versus AJ Styles on Raw, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. We'll see how that unfolded. So after that, Jackie Redmond interviewed LA Knight. And this was part of a recurring thing throughout the show where LA Knight got an interview, Jey Uso got a backstage segment with Roman, and CM Punk got another interview with Jackie. And they're all talking about the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, and Knight's here be like, oh yeah, sure, Punk accidentally pushed me through that table last week. And even if it was an accident, well, he didn't exactly help me out of it either. I thought it was a really good promo from LA Knight.
I think LA Knight has really settled into Raw, just like immediately. Yeah. He feels like he should be in the main event scene in a way he never felt on SmackDown.
No.
Because that's a top title, and this is more of a mid-card belt. But yeah, I love LA Knight's promo style.
Yes, great.
Let me talk to you. Yeah, he just slips them in all really well. And I really like this intense hatred he has for Punk.
Yeah. Off the bat.
Yeah, just like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, give me, it feels like Attitude Era
and
stuff.
He's got good reasons to do it as well. It's like, you've cost me the world title twice now. You're a dick.
Yeah, and all baby faces on Raw are like, oh, we're baby faces, so we're friends. Which has been pretty good, but it's nice to have someone come in and go, nah, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. And yeah, I'm more into, like, of the four guys, I'm more into Punk and Knight fighting than I am about Punk Seth, which is all WWE wants me to be into. We got a video promo from Rusev on Sheamus for the Clash in Paris match. We got another one later on from Sheamus. It's happening. It's a Donnybrook match.
A good old-fashioned one.
A good old-fashioned Donnybrook. I think the reason they had these as pre-taped video promos was because there was no more angles to do.
No, you couldn't just do another brawl between the two of them.
Then we got Penta versus Kofi Kingston. So Penta beat Woods last week, and he used the Mexican Destroyer. And Grayson Waller is out there getting Corey Graves and people at ringside to sign a petition to ban the Mexican Destroyer. And I just thought, like, I get that you guys are trying. You know that this is your slot, and you're doing everything you can to make it work. This is one of the oldest things in the book.
It really does feel like the addition of Grayson Waller to this act has dragged them down somewhat fierce.
Well, they're already down there.
But that's what I mean. But it's dragged them even further down. Like, they were very much within the mid-card, and they felt like a mid-card act, a credible mid-card act. They were the tag team champions not that long ago.
Yeah.
I know that you might forget that because they never defended the things. But they at least felt like they were in some storylines. They were with Rey Mysterio and all this lot. But the addition of Grayson Waller just dragged them right into the lower mid-card and opening act territory. And it just feels like, now I'm so not into the New Day at the moment.
And by extension, kind of Penta as well.
Yeah, it's dragging him down as well.
He's feuding over a hat. That's what this comes down to.
Yeah, well, and eventually it's going to lead to Rey Fenix and Andrade also coming over to Raw.
Yeah.
And they'll have a 6-man tag and a main event of Monday Night Raw one week. And great.
So Kofi kicked out of the Penta driver, which the commentators played up really big. I don't know if that's the first time it's ever happened, but that's what they claimed.
Yeah, they did say on commentary it was.
And then Penta kicked Grayson's petition into his face, but that sort of distracted him a bit. Kofi hit the SOS to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, feud's continuing, and yeah, I think the same. Some kind of tag or trios act will have to be in Penta's future. Promo from Real, it's still on there. Then we got Io Sky talking to Rhea Ripley backstage, and she's like, look, love you, but we've just got to go our separate ways.
Got to keep our distance away from each other because Asuka and Kairi are my family, and I wouldn't want to do anything that would upset them. So really hoping you don't get beaten down after your match tonight with Roxanne.
Yeah, and they hugged, and it was all respectful. And then, but who's that in the background of the shot? The Kabuki Warriors saw only the hug part, and they couldn't hear the words that were being exchanged. Also, they're already annoyed. They're primed to see the worst in her.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then we got the...
I like it. I'm going to say I am into this, but I am needing it to take a step forward, because I was into this 3 weeks ago when it started, and they've yet to take the step forward.
We'll get into sort of what I would have done differently, like when we get to the match. We got the Naomi thing, which led into Vaquer talking to Pierce, which we've already covered. Then Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella had a face-to-face promo. Becky came out first and did the same kind of bit where she seemed like she was going to start a nice promo, saying that Birmingham, that's where I got my first WWE tryout. But it was a dump then, and it's a dump now. She got some local sports team heat. And Nikki came out, and they went back and forth, but Nikki said that Becky is Charlotte's shadow.
Yeah, so sorry, I've got slightly distracted because I was going to get to the Ozzy Osbourne bits, because I think that's the bit that everyone's like super into about this promo.
Well, that's where Becky said that the only good thing to come out of Birmingham died a month ago.
Yeah, so apparently Kelly Osbourne is unhappy about about this line. I'm just trying to find the actual.
It's kind
quote.
it's a kind of compliment.
Said about including Ozzy's daughter Kelly Osbourne. Kelly had previously been photographed in WWE towards it's posted on Instagram. You're a disrespectful dirtbag. I don't know whether it's just sort of like playing a kayfabe thing. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine actually, did send me across an article from Birmingham Live, the newspaper, the local newspaper, because they found not one, not two, not four, but 3 people angry about this on Twitter. And they managed to get a whole article about it.
Well, you got a grift. Local press is in trouble. And I'm sure that is independent local press that isn't owned by a giant click farming company.
Yeah. And a third, one person said, using the real death of Ozzy Osbourne for cheap heat doesn't sit well with me. Just cheap an S word. Do better, Becky Lynch and WWE. Another added...
2 retweets.
Another added, bad what she said about Ozzy Osbourne. And the first one, who was the most vocal and the most angry, said, whoever wrote Becky Lynch's script should be ashamed of themselves. The total disrespect shown to Birmingham and cheap shot of the memory of Ozzy was disgusting. You should never put politics in sports.
What? Well, I mean, actually, Becky did say slightly earlier that the English have been suppressing the Irish for years. Yeah, so that's pretty political.
That's pretty political. It's also true.
Debatable. I'm being cantankerous. Were you offended by the Aussie line?
No.
I thought it was
just a heel.
Yeah, I thought it was a good line.
She's a heel getting local heel heat in the same way that she was like, hey, Aston Villa are rubbish, am I right? Also, Becky's smart enough to know, don't just say one of the local sports teams, make sure you say both of them in case you've got all of the fans in the building.
I thought this was actually a really funnily written, tightly scripted promo exchange. So good that it made Nikki Bella look all right as well.
I thought Nikki came off dreadful in this segment.
You think?
I thought she was awful. At one point...
but she always comes off a bit wooden.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was wooden, but also like her lines were... I would have put money down that she was not scripted at all.
What do you think?
Because at one point she said...
No, she set up so many of Becky's lines.
But which is what I mean is, like, I would put money down that she wasn't scripted and she was just all sort of ahead because she was so bad at it. And also, I can't imagine someone could write this down and give it to her for her to memorize. At one point she said, do you know what, Becky? You're cheap. And you're another C word.
Oh, I think she said 2 C's, didn't she?
No, she said because you got no class. Then, because I think she was supposed to say, you've got no class, you're cheap, and you're another C word. But she said, you've got no class. Do you know what you are? You're cheap.
Cheaper.
And you're another C word.
Well, that was to set up like Becky's shock-faced, the C word, and then Nikki said, a coward. And Becky said, that is so much worse than what I thought you were going to say.
Which is a great line for Becky, but the crowd reaction to it is like, and you're a C word. They went, oh, a coward.
Oh, she didn't say the thing.
Yeah, you didn't call her a see you next Tuesday.
Well,
I thought Nikki Bella was rubbish in this segment. I thought she was awful.
I think I love Becky's character and promo style so much currently. I didn't even see the bad Nikki stuff. Or Broke Neck Barbie, as Becky called her, which is very good as well. I really like Becky's character. I was listening to Wrestling Observer, and they hate it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they're still of the opinion of people want to cheer Becky, so just book her as a face.
Well, yeah, but then she got booed here because she, disrespected the memory of Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, those three people are outraged.
And 4, if you want to include the Kelly Osbourne ones, who may or may not be actually annoyed by this.
What was I going to say? Meltzer had an interesting insight, though. This wasn't a report, this was his opinion. He said, well, if Rhea's going to be the top babyface on Raw, who's going to be the top heel? And, that's sort of a good star thing to do. You're like, well, I'll be the top heel then. If I can't be the top babyface, that's what she is.
Well, we talked about this when last week when Naomi announced her pregnancy. Was they've just lost their top heel in the women's division, and I don't know. I think that makes Becky now the de facto top heel, but she is in that mid card bit, which and she's doing that because she's trying to elevate this title and try and elevate some of the younger stars and people like Lyra Valkyria. But that means that the main event scene is currently missing a top heel, and I guess it's Roxanne or Raquel.
Ooh. Well, we get into that. I don't think it's them. They are the fodder to progress another storyline. But yeah, Becky and Nikki had a brief scuffle, and Nikki stood tall, which is, standard booking going into the pay-per-view, because Becky will very likely retain.
Yeah.
Jackie talks to Punk backstage. He just puts over the Paris match. Sheamus gets his own video promo on Rusev.
Just on the Punk thing, Punk did his version of an LA Knight promo, which I thought he delivered very well.
And then we got Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez, third meeting in their career. It was a well-worked match. Like, Perez targeted Rhea's knee, getting over that sort of brain versus brawn strategy that Roxanne has to lean into. Bit of interference from Raquel, but I thought Rhea took most of the match and then won pretty swiftly. Look, I really like Roxanne. So I don't know how much of that is influencing how I feel about the booking, because Rhea should be kept strong. She's the top babyface. But I also think Roxanne beat Io Sky a couple of weeks ago. If Roxanne also beats Rhea Ripley here, or, God forbid, a DQ sort of style finish, then it shows that this personal drama with Io and Ripley is affecting their results.
Yeah, and also that would then give Io an impetus to run down and help as well, particularly if there is some interference shenanigans by Raquel Rodriguez. Like, if Raquel Rodriguez was constantly interfering and Io then ran down to stop that interference and then Rhea won, at least that would have protected Roxanne somewhat, because Roxanne could have been distracted by all of this kerfuffle outside. In the end, Rhea just overcame the interference and won on her own.
Yeah.
And then Io made the save.
Which makes Roxanne, all that good work that they did 2 weeks ago, I feel like it's undermined it. What about if Asuka ran down? And it looks like Asuka's going to help out Raquel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rhea. There's too many R's in this match. She's going to help out Ripley, and then she just walks off and smiles. And then Rhea's distracted. Raquel hits her. Roxanne gets the pin.
Yeah. Shock roll-up win.
Yeah, but what did happen is Ripley won pretty easily, barely an inconvenience. Raquel jumps Ripley afterwards. Roxanne, it's a 2-on-1 assault. Io runs down for the save.
Yeah.
She cannot even abide by her own request for an hour.
Well, commentary said, Io couldn't stand to see this happen. She couldn't.
It happens every week.
She couldn't stand it. She couldn't let this stand, so she had to run down. She didn't want to, but she had to run down and make this save.
Yeah. But the way you make people want something is you don't give it to them at the very first asking.
Yeah.
So we've had this little segment earlier. I think they should have had a couple of weeks, maybe at least 2, where Io does not come out to save her.
Do you know what would have been a really good backstage segment? You could have followed up with this. So no one comes out to make the save, because that is what they had set up earlier. Io and Rhea are going to go their separate ways. Then Rhea's walking backstage, head on the back of her hand, stumbling along, grabbing at her midsection. And she walks past Io, Asuka, and Kairi. And Io's looking a little bit sad, but Kairi and Asuka are laughing their heads off because they're having a nice time. They're not laughing at Rhea. They are just having a nice time. And Io just looks at her with sort of like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And walks past. That would have actually been a step forward in the story.
Yeah, but this goes right back to where we've been for 3 weeks now. It's just Io and Ripley helping each other out, and the Kabuki Warriors being miffed by it.
Yeah.
They did have an argument backstage afterwards, and Asuka is the angriest. She walks off, and Kairi saying sort of, "Oh, I'm upset that I'm caught in the middle." Just get to the tag team feud already.
Yeah. And also, your reaction there can describe our next match.
Jesus. It's AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
I know. And at the end of it, I was like, yeah, okay, I guess.
It went 8 minutes, and I cannot believe I'm saying this considering it's Monday Night Raw. It was a clean finish. Of all the matches to do some interference booking on where you've got, maybe not Dom, because Dom is like maybe trying to cause a rift with Finn, but JD, Raquel, Roxanne, who's supposedly super on Finn's side.
That's actually a really good point. I forgot she was part of this team.
So I worked myself into a shoot where I was like, okay, well, I guess maybe I see it as a big thing still. Former Bullet Club guys, it's a dream match.
Exactly where at the end of this, I was like, of course it was totally fine. It's not 2017 anymore.
Yeah. And then I thought, they've probably wrestled like 100 times by this point. This is their 5th ever singles match.
Yeah.
It went 8 minutes.
It was totally fine.
Yeah, and AJ, Finn, tag team champion, AJ just beat him easily. So yeah, both JD and Finn, tag team champions, beaten in singles competition. Oh, but they're just tag team guys. It's Finn frickin' Balor.
They keep saying, first ever Universal Champion.
I don't subscribe to the just online outrage of Pin Balor. Oh, it's tough being a Finn Balor fan always. But this week I do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this really underserved the guy. But yeah, Styles wins. 8 minutes. Styles clash. It's just a build. The Dom IC title match that will happen next week.
Yeah. So we're getting that next week on Raw.
Jay and Roman had their backstage man-to-man chat. And Roman gave him the advice of be a bit angrier.
Yeah, don't trust Punk.
Yeet. He even said yeet.
Mm.
Then we got the Bayley vignette. Then we got Lyra. Then we got Dom being annoyed with AJ, so Pierce books the match for next week. And then we got the main event, which was LA Knight versus Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. The Brons have finally got in my own head.
Got you.
But Bron and Bronson are walking to the ring backstage with Paul Heyman, and some smart babyface action. Roman attacks Bronson, and LA Knight attacks Breakker.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I enjoyed that.
They brawl down to the ring to start the match. Knight works over Breakker for a bit, then Bron works over Knight. Don't get too invested because you know there's an interference bit coming.
Now, do you know what? I'm going to jump to WWE's defense here because they announced this main event and I rolled my eyes. I think there were people down the road who heard the eye roll that I made when they announced this was the main event. I was like, ugh, this is it. Okay. DQs, interferences, brawl at the end. Seth does a crap laugh. Like, I've seen this. I know where we're heading for this. So when I got a clean-ish finish with no interference, because Seth just came down and didn't actually touch anyone. Michael Cole even said he didn't touch anyone. It's not an interference spot. I was like,
yeah,
he's friggin' done it. He's friggin' done it. He's booked a clean main event on Monday Night Raw.
Cleanish.
Yeah, it was a clean-ish finish to Monday Night Raw.
No, I'd put it in for another wash. It was a distraction finish.
Which is not, and that's a new wrinkle. That's not an interference finish.
I'm moving the goalposts. You are correct. But last week we had it where it's like, it's not interference. This is a no DQ match.
They're leaning into it. Because Triple H is terminally online with all of his burner accounts. So he knows what everyone's saying about his shows. So he's now leaning into the fact that Raw main events are DQs and interferences and is doing as much as he can do to not do those things. No. So he's commentary being like, the match is still going on. It's not been a DQ, by the way. And then this week it was, Seth didn't touch him. It's not an interference, by the way.
But look, I don't want to make this about AEW versus WWE.
But you will do.
But here I go. Tony Khan, he also is aware of criticisms about his company and the
online.
confusing nature of the Casino Gauntlet contract cash-in.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, at the very long press conference that we were at, that he has listened to all of us. He knows, there's been some feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a minimum 1 week before the cash-in. That is someone taking on board the criticism and making a change for the better, and sort of saying it in a way where it's kind of a good form of dog whistling, where we all know, okay, you've recognized your mistake, or like where it was falling short, you fixed it, and you've put that all in a kayfabe explanation. But we all know, so good job, good pivot. Triple H does that. He hears the criticism, and then he doesn't change it to make us happy. He just tweaks it and goes, well, now I'm doing it. This is what you asked for, isn't it?
Well,
when it isn't what we asked for, we want just clean, straight-up finishes in the ring. And we get it for Finn Balor and AJ Styles.
But what are you going to do? Are you and your friend Mark going to stop watching next week?
This is trolling.
It's Triple H! Of
He's
course
still
it's trolling!
trolling.
It's Triple H! This is what Triple H has always done! The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that we all like Triple H for a bit.
Yeah. And still apparently do.
Yeah, exactly. He's always been this guy.
Yeah.
So him doing this, Michael Cole being like, not an interference, you guys, is totally on brand for a Triple H-led creative process.
So yes, Seth did do that, and Knight got pinned by Breaker. He sort of ran into a trap while chasing Seth around the ring.
And we got, we pinned one of the guys going into the main event of this coming Sunday's thing. I think you could probably mark that as a little negative against that. If it were me, I would not be pinning one of the people that's going to be challenging for the title on Sunday. But at the same time, you don't really want to pin Bron Breakker either. So what you could do is not book this match. If you don't want to pin either guy, don't book this match then. But at least there was a finish to this, and it was not a rubbish DQ finish. And crucially, it was not interference.
But we did get the same. Everyone runs down for a brawl afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
So Jay runs down first. I've written how original. That is a grumpy, I've watched too much wrestling, Oli Davis. And then CM Punk runs down. So I write these at like 7 a.m.
How original.
And then Punk runs down. The heels scarper, so Bron and Seth are on the ramp, and Seth goes, and I'm just like, dude, shut up.
Just watch them.
Watch them. They're going to do our job for us. And it's because Punk and Knight and Jay, even though they were united to chase off the heels for a moment, they are starting to combust. Knight and Punk get in a shoving match. Jay super kicks Knight. And then what I thought was a really good spot, Jay then super kicked Punk as well.
So Punk helped Jay up, and he went to help Knight up as well, but Knight was already up in his face. And then in their kerfuffle, Jay took a stray bullet and got hit. That's why he super kicked Knight. And then it looked like, he wasn't going to super kick Punk, but he did. So maybe that is a step forward.
Yeah, kind of.
If you trip, you are taking a step forward.
But yeah, I was thinking about the whole Vision thing and how sort of creatively uninspiring it's been. And I haven't verbalized this yet, so hear me out. One of the great things about the Bloodline was that it's kind of an argument of family over just normal friends. So blood versus water, what's thicker? And apart from Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn, who ultimately was kicked out, it's all family there. There is a reason for the Bloodline to be together. They're really there for each other's culture and their family. What does Seth have? Seth has it for more of a greed-fueling perspective.
Yeah, he wants control.
So really, Seth, the way everyone told Roman early on, everyone will leave you, you'll be left alone. Roman should be saying that to Seth. At least I have family. These were my cousins and my brothers and everything. You've just got Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. You've fudged together this act sort of just out of the wrong reasons, and they will surpass you.
No, I think that promo will come. It'll just come when we do the Roman-Seth feud. At the moment, it's just Roman, against the Goons. But eventually you are going to do a Roman Seth program, likely over the title. And I'd imagine that is when you'll get those Roman promos. There's no point doing them now.
I feel like you could start them now. And just, I would have also put a bit of dissension more within Breaker and Seth.
Well, yeah, they've completely dropped that.
I mean, I read one person say, but Bron wasn't looking at Seth when he was given advice backstage. Like, that could be a source of tension. I didn't read it that way.
No, it's not. That is people wanting to... That is... Oh, yeah, Karrion Kross influences people that he feuds with, and it really changes their characters on the other end, because it happened once. So, like, man, when Bray Wyatt feuds with you, then your character is forever changed, because it happened once. It's people trying to just... If you... we did this on the Snyder Cut episode of Justice League, which will be going out tomorrow.
Oh, exciting!
By the way, there's a really fascinating point that someone made on there, which is that before the Snyder Cut came out, there was a sort of thought piece that was written about the release of it, like when it first got announced that it was being released. And he said that there are some fans who just want to believe that there is a mythical version of a good film that is out there, but they can't bear to think of the idea that one of their favorite directors just made a mediocre movie. It was off the back of release the J.J. Abrams cut of Rise of Skywalker. Like, Star Wars fans could not fathom the idea that J.J. had made a bad movie. So it must be Disney just hiding a bad version that they don't want the fans to see. Where the reality is, the actual plain reality of it is, no, J.J. Abrams just made a bad movie because Rise of Skywalker was made by committee. Like, it's not JJ's fault. It really is Disney's fault, because they just wanted to do a checklist of, a spreadsheet movies to appease the fans who didn't like what was the other one? The Last Jedi.
Job done.
Job done.
Thanks for all the spaceships. Love them.
And I think that's what you've got here, is you don't want to just admit that storyline has been dropped. So you're looking at every segment and be like, oh, nope, there it is. You see, Bron was not looking at Seth there. Definitely still doing that story that they were doing 5 weeks ago. Triple H is cooking. Let him cook. Let it play out.
You see, I totally agree. The sort of dissension, if you could show that dissension very subtly and very sparingly right now, but then it's them both realizing they've got this enemy in Roman, and that pulls them together. And upon beating Roman, that's when the cracks start to form. So I think you can set that all up now. But yeah, it's just a normal end to the show for a deeply uninspiring card for Clash in Paris.
A hell of a card, isn't it?
Should we go through it just like to really...
Well, this episode is running short. I was actually going to say, Sean Ross Sapp, your friend of mine, saw Superman the other day.
Only just?
He's only just seen it.
Yeah.
And he hated it.
Why did he hate it?
He just said it's every superhero movie he's ever seen.
Well, I don't know how au fait he is with superhero movies.
He said he's seen a lot of them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone's seen a lot of them, but have they really, really gone into them? Because I would say it is distinctly different from
Well, no, he said
most.
that it's done nothing new for superhero movies. He said the only thing that he thought was a new original idea was the team of monkeys.
The card for... I'm not going to get into it. The card for this weekend is...
I'm not biting.
Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. Cool.
That's a big match.
Sheamus versus Rusev, a match that no one's been into on TV.
That is a TV match.
We've got John Cena versus Logan Paul.
A match that no one wants to see.
Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed, which that is a pay-per-view caliber match.
Roman is wrestling on pay-per-view. That feels like... on a B show, no less. That actually does feel like a big deal.
And I would say Becky and Nikki, because of the celeb... Like, I'm calling Nikki a celebrity now rather than an actual wrestler. It's a shame that Logan also has that same spot against Cena.
Yeah. Look, I'm so against this Logan Paul match because Cena's got, 10 dates left? We actually know what all 10 dates are now. He's now got... so he's got this, then he's got WrestlePalooza, then it's Survivor Series, Perth, and the retirement match. So really, that's 5 matches that Cena has got left. We know 2 of them, and they are 2 matches that people aren't... Look, that's actually quite extensive. I've done the John Cena thing. That people... Or 3D. That people aren't really into, which means we've got 1, 2, 3 John Cena matches left before he hangs up the jorts. I cannot fathom anyone doing this worse of a retirement year.
And then Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight.
Which has got a bit of a sort of a World's End to it last year vibe, where you're just like, oh, All right, a failed 4-way. Grand.
Do we have any podcast shout-outs? We do. It's for the mods before we get into the last super chats. So thank you, Andy.
And Ian.
James.
John KV.
Owen.
And because she will never put her name on this list, Mod Mother Jenna. Give everyone in the blue wrench order a round of applause in the chat.
Right, let's get through our remaining chat gables. Cisco GFK writes, maybe Bayley is becoming the new type of the Viper Randy Orton. Also, did anyone watch Progress Wrestling Event or GSW Homecoming?
I have not seen Progress yet. I've seen clips of Man Like Doris versus Luke Jacobs, and that is the match I really did want to see. And also, of course, my friend Paul Walterhausen. Defending the Proteus title against Simon Miller and Crowley in the Fantastic 4-way that they were promoting. So yeah, I want to check out that show. I've just not had the chance to do so yet.
Heiko, who's been a member for 2 months, writes, women's division drama is more interesting than the men's on Raw right now. I like that a lot. Jam that jam. Said in Magic 15 says, I actually enjoyed last night's episode. It was quite good. For me, it's an 80, so 80%. 4 out of 5, really. What made no sense to me, however, is why they wouldn't put the Styles Mysterio IC title match at Clash in Paris.
Because you filled up the card.
Yeah, there's 5 matches.
Like on my GM mode, you just have the amount of match slots and you fill them all up.
And the rest are advertising promos. Booster Gold writes, does it bother you when wrestling ignores simple booking? Stephanie and Io are tied 0-0-2. So is that 2 draws? I think. Io was supposed to wrestle Naomi. Io versus Stephanie for the title seems so simple. Also, did I hear right? AJ versus Dom is not in France?
It is. It's just in Lyon on Raw.
Yeah, the next night.
Yeah.
I get... You could have put Io in there, but that might also feel like a bit of a step back. Well, I think Io should definitely go into that later, though.
Well, I say, and also she's involved in a different story now.
Holy moly! What if Asuka is right about Rhea and for Kabuki Warriors to get attacked backstage only to find out that it was Rhea who tried to take them out and becomes the heel due to her obsession with trying to defeat Io? A heel Rhea tormenting a friendless Io? Thoughts?
No, I'm more into the... I think Rhea's... what Dave and Brian were saying about Becky, I think applies way more to Rhea than it does anyone else on this roster. Rhea is a megastar of popularity. You cannot turn her heel. I think it would be irresponsible to turn her heel.
Yeah, she gets the biggest pops of the night, really. But I do like the idea, if you had to do it, the heel turn because of her obsession that she's never beaten Io. That's a great reason. Mm-hmm. Alfie Harrigan. Hi guys, I thought Raw was fine this week, although I did laugh when Heyman tried to get the crowd to chant a Bronson Reed chant. Looking forward to Clash in Paris this Sunday, mainly because I'm going to be there live.
Hurrah!
Kevin, why did Pierce yell at Bron to go to the ring for his match when he just got attacked by Roman? Maybe he doesn't need a drink. I'm not going to Clash in Paris, but I'll go to a BZWX APC show in Paris with Bobby Lashley in a 3-way match, of course.
We didn't get a chance to talk about Heatwave on yesterday's show, but you see the TNA match they did?
Oh, where JC Jane didn't get pinned.
Yeah, JC Jane lost the TNA. I was giving them so much benefit of the doubt. I was like, well, at Bound for Glory, JC Jane will get beaten by likely Masher or whoever it will be, and a TNA star will win back the TNA Knockouts title. Never did I think, and I should have done, that JC Jane would lose it in a 3-way where Ash by Elegance pinned the TNA star in Masher.
Yeah, you've given a lot of people slack this year.
Yeah.
And they've all burned you.
They have all burned me.
So we're going to get a heel Luke now?
Only if they charge
Cynical
me
Luke.
25 quid for chicken nuggets and chips.
Lewis Da Silva writes, Forbidden Door was truly incredible. Witnessing Edge and Christian's reunion was magic. And yes, I did shed a few tears for Hiroshi Tanahashi. It really sunk in that this was his final time in the UK, a memory I will truly cherish for the rest of my life.
Completely agree.
Hardcore Golfer Harry, was great to see you outside of Forbidden Door, even if I did massively mark out in front of my non-wrestling fan partner. Just wondering if you were at the 100 Volt show. Kanji had a barn burner with Rio, and Doris finally dethroned Luke in a banger.
Yeah, the Kanji, and then it gives up Kanji versus Nina in a lose-lose progress match.
Oh, wow. So that was the progress show, yeah. And Hardcore Golfer Harry, because he had hurt his foot because he tipped over a golf cart.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was in a boot, and you're like, oh, what happened to your foot? He was like, oh, a car ran over it. We were like, whoa! He's like, oh, golf cart.
He said a car landed on it.
Yeah, a car landed on it. I was like, what?
Were you in the Superman fight scene?
But no, he's like, no, it's just, he flipped over a golf cart.
Tiny Angle, I think is how you pronounce that, answering Ollie's question about wrestling in Bexley. Luke was right in that it's UKPW.
I was
They're
right.
in Bexley Heath High Street with the ring being outside McDonald's Nando's. I was a wuss and didn't say hello at the O2, but any chance of a book signing? Yeah, maybe. I should probably do a thing.
Yeah.
Don't know.
We're gonna find
Do
a
a
pub.
thing.
Do you want me to be your publicist? And
Yeah, maybe.
I'll arrange a
Doesn't
location.
come naturally to me. I know exactly where that is, Angel. It's why the Cineworld round the corner was where I used to go and watch all the movies.
Yeah.
Get the 96 or the 95, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. If you're down in Brighton, they'll be doing a show on Brighton Beach. They also do one in Sevenoaks as well. It's just just in the park.
And Chris Boscher has very kindly pledged $10 with no chat. So thank you very much.
I think there is another one as well.
Yes. No, I've done Lewis De Silva's one.
No, I think there was one that has not been added to there because I got a message about it. They sent it last week. It was like not while we were on Raw. They just sent it like in the week and thought we would read out on Friday's show, but we don't read UltraChats out on Friday's show. But I've got it here. It's from Pat the Booker, who says, in y'all's opinion, if Jericho returns to WWE, 1, who should be his first major feud? 2, should he win the WWE title? And 3, and most importantly, will he have the Judas theme?
No, I really want him to just come back with his classic Jim Johnston one, which WWE own, so that's fine. I
would do the countdown and then go into Judas because you need to have that pop.
Yeah.
So if you have like the rah, 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 rah noise and then you go into Judas, I think you can. I love Break the Walls Down. Obviously, it would be very cool to hear that again. I think you could do that for a nostalgic moment, but he should come out to a new Fozzy song because he'll want to, promote his new Pants album. And who should be his first major feud? Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's going backwards a bit. I'd like to see him.
Everything's going to be going backwards.
Can he wrestle someone new? Who would be?
Sammy?
Has he never wrestled Sammy?
I don't think they would have crossed that many paths.
I don't know. That is a problem with Jericho. It's not like, he could work with this guy or this guy.
I'll tell you who didn't work in AEW was Punk.
Yeah, a Jericho Punk feud, but they've had the Mania feud before with the drinking storyline. God, I'm really struggling to think of anyone.
Jay. Jay could show off his submission game.
Jericho Gunther?
I'm actually more into Jay, if I'm being truly honest.
Well, he had some awesome Ishii Suzuki matches where they just traded chops for ages.
Yeah, but I think if you go to like Jay, and Jay's the new Ayatollah of rock and roll, he's the guy that the crowd are super behind, and Jericho can go in as a heel to be like, they used to love me the way that they love you.
Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you meant yeah. Okay, yeah.
Who?
Kerry.
Yeah, just because Drew McIntyre could do a really good promo thing. Sick of all these people coming over here when you.
That's fun, yeah.
When you run out of goodwill in another company.
That's what Drew's gimmick should be, just going up to everyone who come from AEW.
Yeah.
take out Jade Cargill. Get on the NXT, boot Ricky Saints. And the last question was, should he win the WWE Championship?
No, absolutely not.
He could win the World Heavyweight Championship, but not the WWE Championship.
Be nice to see him with the IC belt, I think.
Yes, that is the belt. Oh, Miz then. He should win the IC belt and then have a big feud with the Miz, who's trying to break Jericho's record.
Oh my God, Dominic Mysterio. Why have we not said that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's all we've got time for today. Let's find the result of the poll.
Oh, yes, please do that. Let me just quickly end it. It's in the middle, I can tell you that much. It is 57% in the middle, 28% thumbs up.
Yeah, so it's still weighted towards a positive show. It's not a bad show, it's just a show.
Just a show. Which I think actually, given it's a go-home show, I think should give it some negative points towards it.
Well, thank you very much for watching. Please go and watch the WrestleTalk review of Forbidden Door. That's also on this channel or your podcast feed right now. And make sure you are subscribed because we'll have Luke and Dan Layton back this Friday with the WrestleTalk podcast. I will be in Scotland.
Yeah.
I've never been to Scotland. That person who thanked me for not doing a Birmingham accent. Here's a Scottish one.
Oli Davis, everyone, is taking a break.
Wow. For 3 days. But I'll be back on Monday for Clash in Paris. But for now, I've been Oli Davis. This has been Luke and DAD. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam.